Hello, everyone. I'm Leanne Risk, and my topic is antibiotics in human waste. I found this topic to be very interesting, and I hope that you do too. The objective of this presentation is to identify what antibiotics are, how they are processed in the human body, as well as once waste, also known as biosolids or sewage sludge, is discarded, where does it go, how is it used, and their impact on the environment. I aim to emphasize the role of antibiotics in human waste and its effects on health, ecology, and aesthetics of the environment. So in this presentation, we will review antibiotics and uses, antibiotics in the human body, the journey of waste, utilization of waste, biosolids, what is the impact on the environment. Antibiotics 101. So, antibiotics are medicines that are used to prevent and treat bacterial infections. Antibiotic resistance occurs when bacteria changes in response to the use of these medications. Bacteria, not humans or animals, become resistant. These bacteria, this bacteria may infect humans and animals, and the infections that they cause are get harder and harder to treat than those caused by the non-resistant bacteria. At the top left-hand corner of this slide, you see a picture of Mr. Alexander Fleming, who discovered penicillin, the very first antibiotic drug on the market, in 1928. Over 70 years ago, he actually predicted that drug resistance could be upon us. So he basically warned us. And, have we listened? I mean, you can be the judge once I'm done with the presentation. Okay, so how is antibiotics processed in the body? It enters through the bloodstream and it travels through your body, killing bacteria, but not human cells. There, overall, it's a very useful and beneficial way to combat any bacterial infections. The only issue is that it can also kill the along with the bad bacteria, it also can kill the good bacteria. Where does human waste go? So after we flush our toilets, the waste usually travels through sewer pipes, which we learned extensively in our lesson on water pollution in class. The waste then travels to treatment facilities where the water is cleaned before being pumped right back into our local water reservoirs. Some waste treatment plants burn it or even ship it to landfills, which aren't the most economically or environmentally friendly solutions. Some human waste, however, ends up in forests and farm fields as, as the treated human feces-based fertilizer known as biosolids. When properly treated and processed, sewage sludge becomes biosolids, which are the nutrient-rich organic materials produced from wastewater treatment facilities. Biosolids that meet federal and state standards can be used on land to improve soil damage by improper management. Environmental impact. So, human waste, aka sewage sludge, fertilizer, or biosolids, is a great way to divert human waste from going to the landfills. Instead, they use it to grow crops, and it is also known in widespread use as a cheap, effective way to fertilize crops and to recycle human waste. Okay, so in the picture, you do see some crops that are actually being grown by with the help of biosolids. One purpose of this treatment is to significantly reduce the concentration of disease-causing organisms known as pathogens. The treatment also reduces the attractiveness of the residues to insects, birds, and rodents. The product is material that can be recycled for uses such as adding organic material to soils. And there's usually two classes, Class A, which is the best, and Class B of biosolids. So it's all about treatment and how well the water has been treated. The problem. One of the major factors now being accepted as being the environmental impact of pharmaceutical manufacturing processes um, is attributed to two countries, which is India and China, that produce the world's most antibiotics. Links have been found to exist between antibiotic use and the emergence of antibiotic resistance. Bacterial pathogen studies have proven increase in antibiotic resistant strains that belong to pathogenic bacteria, and over the years, nearly every bacterial pathogen has developed a resistance to one or more clinical antibiotic medications. So here at the bottom, you do see a pie chart uh, that I collected from the internet that is, describing exactly the climate within the United States on antibiotic use. The whole blue section, which is over 13 million, is contributed to from livestock, which is also consumed by humans. And then the red portion is over 3 million, which is direct consumption or use from humans. So humans using or consuming antibiotics. So clearly, this gives you a very good picture of how much antibiotics is being used. And at the top right-hand corner, you see a picture, you know, that shouldn't surprise you, of a pipe discharging apparent effluent onto a beach, which is direct water pollution, which we went over in class again. Um, I mean, overall, the use of numerous antimicrobial agents as treatments in animals and humans and plants health maintenance is a worldwide practice, providing both desirable and undesirable consequences. So this is what I would like to call the boomerang effect, and this is how I feel is a very easy way to understand the process and what is happening here. On the left-hand side is a very simple visual that I put together that's showing from the antibiotic all the way back how it can come right back to us. So first you have the antibiotics being consumed by the human for whatever reason, for the various reasons that we do consume antibiotics. And then it goes into the waste and the sewage pipe here. And then it makes its way onto the lush green farm to help fertilize our crops and back onto our plate somehow, some way. And then it can also be consumed through livestock um, and either directly back on the plate on that, that big juicy steak, or through the manure of the livestock itself back to our crops. So think about that as we finish up this presentation on how easy it is for it to come back to us. On the right hand side, you see a chart with data from the CDC on antibiotic resistance in the US by year. So this goes from 1999 to 2015. And you clearly see that there is an upward trend of the resistance. And there is a dip where it goes down in 2013 upon the reintroduction of organic foods, and people starting to really take hold and start to consume more organic foods. In summary, biosolids, which has proved to be a very cheap and effective way to fertilize crops and to recycle human waste. However, concerns over antimicrobial resistance or antibiotic resistance have been mounting for years. Despite the state-of-the-art waste treatment process in the United States, this still just doesn't match the overwhelming misuse, abuse, and overuse of antibiotics around the globe. Considering the many ways in which antibiotics can seep its way back into our paths, whether it's through sewage sludge, livestock, pollution, crops, or a big juicy steak, we are all at serious risk for resistance. We are headed for an organic food industry takeover, and bottom line is education is needed to re-examine and regulate the uses of antibiotics as this is a worldwide public environmental health threat. On this slide, you see my references, which are very user-friendly and have lots of great information on this particular topic. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for listening.